Derby County are relegated to League One. Derby County's 14-year stint in the Championship is over, despite many seasons battling for promotion. Do you know what? In their time in the Championship, they've been one of the favourites to go up in most seasons. They've finished in the playoffs 4 times, in the playoff final twice. But after all of that, they're exiting the Championship through the relegation trapdoor. We're going to talk about it today. I've got plenty of Derby County fans on the channel, guys, so make sure to drop a like. If you're new around here, do make sure to hit that subscribe button as we talk about Derby County's relegation to League One. Derby County undeniably have been one of the most talked about teams in the top 4 divisions across England this season, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Let's start with their season by going back to the final day of last season. That 3-3 draw with Sheffield Wednesday, which kept them up on the final day. Wayne Rooney and the players celebrating in the empty stadium, of course. And I don't know, for me, I thought at the time that could be paper over cracks, and ultimately it has been, because Derby County have had such big off-the-field issues that the players haven't really been able to do enough about it this season to overturn it. Now, on that final day, it was brilliant. The Derby County fans, I'm sure, were rejoicing, but like I say, it was papering over cracks. I remember they had a really poor run up until that final day, drew 3-3. It was a crazy game. Martin Waghorn scoring a penalty with about 10 minutes to go, winning the winning survival for them in the end, and obviously they stayed up. But I remember them coming into this season and points deductions were being heavily spoken about. I remember them saying something about they could have given Derby points deductions last season and saved Wycombe, but obviously they said it was too late, and obviously the points deductions would be applied to the 21-22 season. So I think every commentator, every pundit, every football fan predicted Derby to be going down this season. And do you know what? I respected Wayne Rooney massively for staying there, because in the summer they didn't have a great squad. The points deductions looked inevitable, and you know, it's just getting very competitive in the Championship, so I just didn't see how they were going to stay up. But they made a great fist of it. We'll come on to that in a bit. Derby County did have to rely on free signings, and you know what, they brought in some decent players, Ravel Morrison being one of them, and obviously kept the likes of Tom Lawrence and Kazim Richards. So they had a decent enough squad, and with Rooney, they kind of had a continuity going into this season that took a few of us off guard. By the time August came around and the season started, the points deductions hadn't been added on, and the season started, and Derby County took a few of us off guard with their first 8 games. You can see there, 2 wins, 4 draws and 2 defeats. While that's not amazing, it's not terrible either. They found themselves in 12th after 8 games. Now, that was very encouraging, and Derby County were getting quite a few plaudits for it, but it was inevitable that points deductions would be coming one way or another. But for now, they were showing that they could be competitive. In September, though, Derby County went into administration, which brought a 12-point deduction, sending Derby County bottom of the table, and the next few games didn't go as well. You can see there are a few losses and draws, which were okay every now and then, but draws starting to pile up when you're getting points deductions aren't the best thing, are they? There were some very decent performances, spirited performances, and you can see there with some of them draws, they probably, you know what, 1 or 2 chances away from winning most of those games. So Derby County was still being competitive, but not really getting enough wins at that point. Just before match week 18, Derby County were now giving a 9-point deduction, taking up to 21 points deducted, this time though for financial irregularities. And this is one of the most frustrating things in football for football fans. Football owners ruining things, and the fans get punished. Honestly, I've said before, I could make a video on this. I've spoken about Derby County a lot this season, and the points deductions when they happened. It makes me angry, and I'm not even a Derby fan. But what was really good with Derby County, and what they did quite a few times this season, was every time there was bad news off the pitch, they responded on the pitch in kind, and they won that next game against AFC Bournemouth 3-2. Incredible performance from Derby County. After a pretty inconsistent November, Derby County went on a crazy fight back in December and January. You can see there plenty more wins popping out. They obviously went back into positive points. They distinguished the 21 points deduction, and they started charging forwards, and you can see they came off bottom there, which was an incredible achievement. I know we had some proper dross teams at the start of this season in Barnsley and Peterborough, but Derby County, with a 21 points deduction, had overtaken them in the first half of the season, which was simply incredible. Some of the notable results in there were beating Blackpool, West Bromwich Albion, Stoke City away, and they beat Sheffield United as well. I remember they fought back from 2-0 down at Reading with late goals to rescue a draw, and the game I went to when they drew 2-2 with Birmingham. That was an incredible game. They scored 2 goals late on, but that was after they'd had a big protest and everything. I think it was the highest attended Championship game this season, so you can see the potential at Derby County is enormous. But a run of 6 defeats in February left Derby County in a weakened position, and after it looking possible, it became less likely each week up until they were finally relegated against Queen's Park Rangers. And do you know what? Even between then, they did pick up some brilliant results. I remember that win against Barnsley and that win against Fulham, when that could have been the one where they got relegated. That 2-1 win was incredible, but they were relegated very harshly. 1-0 defeat at QPR, 88th minute goal conceded after Reading also fought back from 4-1 down to draw 4-4. Those results piled together sent Derby County down, and I do think if it wasn't on that day, it would have been another day, because Derby County were just too far apart. I think if Derby County were just given the 1 points deduction this season, it would have been possible. I think they would have done it, but the double points deduction, it was just too much for Derby County and Wayne Rooney to overturn. Obviously, Derby County's fans' attentions will now turn to the League One campaign next season, and I think no one is under any illusion it will not be easy. League One is actually a very difficult campaign, and there's almost not a lot in it between the Championship and League One. The League One is very unforgiving, and I find when you're a team like Derby County going down, obviously a big team, plenty of the League One teams will have never played Derby before and not played them in a long time. It's a scalp, isn't it? It's like trying to take one out of the big teams, like Sunderland. Honestly, the amount of big teams that go down there, Sunderland, Portsmouth, Bolton, they rarely come back to the Championship. You know, it's a very tricky league. Ipswich as well, you could chuck them into that bracket. So I don't think it'll be easy. The potential is there for Derby County. Now, what they need is stability, don't they? I don't know if they're going to get that. I don't know if there's going to be another points deduction. For me, I think it's pretty unclear at the moment. But if they can have a summer of clarity and stability, and Wayne Rooney stays, which I think he will, and is allowed to recruit with quite a bit of backing, then maybe Derby County could be a force next season. Like I say, their fans on the road and at home will be behind them. They're a brilliant supported team. I think it'd be interesting to see Derby County locking horns with the likes of Accrington Stanley and Forest Green. It's mental to think of them in the same league, but do you know what? Big clubs do go down the divisions sometime. Derby fans, let me know your thoughts down below on everything. This season's been very unforgiving. I do have sympathy for the fans. Obviously, Wayne Rooney's done what he could, but it's not enough. The players, you know what? They've put in some really decent performances this season. There's been some memorable wins despite the relegation, and some memorable performances. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. League One next year for Derby County. Like I say, at the moment, I really couldn't call it. But if they can get some stability, they are certainly a big club, so should have the potential to bounce right back. Derby County have been relegated, guys. Make sure to get your comments down below. Drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.